Mbappe.
Elise lovely. Mbappe! The superstar shines!
Vinny.
Vinny Jr. again. Vinicius Jr. lashes in the equaliser.
Diomande.
Still, Diomande! It's out of this world!
Bellingham.
That was well done. Into Jude Bellingham. Bellingham with the equaliser.
Arda Güler.
Arda Güler. It's a good effort. Oh, it's magnificent.
Brahim Diaz.
Here's Brahim Diaz. Diaz has shuffled his way through and found a way through.
Real Madrid might have the biggest first world problem in football. They have too many ridiculous talented attackers. On paper, you look at the squad and wonder how the hell is anyone supposed to stop them? And yet over the last 2 seasons, Madrid haven't been able to turn all of that individual talent into the level of success everyone expected. But then, the 2026 World Cup happened, and we saw many of these same players go away with their national team and absolutely ball out. So clearly talent isn't the problem. The question is, how do you get all of these guys playing their best football at the same time while still creating an actual functioning team? And that responsibility belongs to José Mourinho. Now, I already know what you guys are going to be saying. Ped, here you go glazing Real Madrid again. Didn't you make the same video 12 months ago and then again a year before that? And you guys might be right. We might come back to this video in 6 months or 12 months time and it'll be the same result as every other year where Real Madrid had all these great attacking players and went trophyless. But when you look at the players available, it's hard not to get excited about their possibilities, especially after having seen all of their attackers individually ball out at the World Cup. Take Kylian Mbappé. This guy went to the World Cup with France and scored 10 goals. He won the Golden Boot and produced one of the best individual goal scoring tournaments we've seen in a long time.
Mbappe hits it! Oh, big mistake this is. It's on a plate for Mbappe! And Mbappe! Star after French star. How they twinkle!
Deschamps surrounded him with players willing to do the dirty work and basically told him, go score the goals. There wasn't another superstar constantly wanting to attack the same left-sided spaces. There wasn't this constant question about whether he should be playing striker or left wing. He was the focal point of the attack and he looked unstoppable. Now you're probably saying, Ped, of course Mbappe's been balling. We know this guy's good. Even in Real Madrid's bad 2 seasons, he was still winning Golden Boots. Okay, what about Vinny then? This guy had his best ever tournament for Brazil. He had Ancelotti as his coach again and freedom on the entire left side. Vinny would stay wide, receive the ball, and attack the right back over and over again without worrying about anyone else taking space away from him. Suddenly, he looked like the old Vinicius again. He finished the tournament with 4 goals and an assist in 5 games and scored in all 3 of Brazil's group matches.
Vinicius Jr. lashes in the equaliser. Vinny Jr.'s in, and Brazil have 3.
It's above gone and Vinny Jr.'s there to head it home.
Matheus Cunha's movement through the middle occupied the center backs, which meant Vinny was constantly getting isolated against one defender on the left, and that's Vinny heaven. At least for the old Vinny. I have no idea who this new guy is post-surgery. Then you had Jude Bellingham. Just like Vinny turned the clock back to 2024, Bellingham did again too.
Saka's delivery, oh, splendid first-time take from Jude Bellingham.
He scored 7 goals and added an assist in 8 games for England. It was like his debut season for Madrid all over again. Every game he was popping up with a goal out of nowhere. And how did England get that production out of him? Simple. By playing him in the same role that he flourished in during his first season at Real Madrid. He had the freedom to attack the box from the number 10 position. And he was able to do that easily because not only does Harry Kane drop deep, but he's also an excellent playmaker. That's an important point because Mbappe loves to drop deep as well, but he's not as good of a playmaker as Harry Kane. And he also doesn't link up as well with his other teammates. This is something Madrid need to remember. Bellingham can obviously play deeper. He has the work rate for it. But that's not where you're getting the best version of him. Him having to track back for Mbappe and Vinny means he won't be able to crash the box. And if he pushes forward and Madrid lose the ball, suddenly there's no one to track back and Madrid are completely exposed defensively. Brahim Diaz had a great World Cup too. At Madrid, his role was inconsistent. Sometimes he started, sometimes he didn't play. Now part of that is his own fault. Madrid fans will tell you that at times he over dribbles and makes bad decisions in the final third. But you could also counter that by saying that it's hard for any player to be consistent when his role is inconsistent. And on top of that, it's hard to be consistent in a team that's inconsistent. Because the Morocco version of Brahim Diaz is a beast. Even before the World Cup, we saw it at AFCON. Minus that Panenka pen, let's not talk about it. By the way, why did Mbappe think it was a good gift to Brahim Diaz to score a Panenka? You're basically teasing him at some point, but I digress. Morocco made Diaz one of their main creators in the team and gave him the freedom to move around basically wherever he wanted. At the World Cup, he got 4 assists, tied for for second most at the entire World Cup, as Morocco reached another quarterfinal. His game against Canada in the round of 16 was probably his best performance. 2 assists, 3 big chances created. He didn't score at the tournament, but he didn't need to. Seeing him be so good on the right wing for Morocco makes you question why he can never reach those levels at Real Madrid. And then there's Arda Güler. Now Arda was actually really good for Madrid in the 2025-2026 season. He played well under Xabi Alonso and Arbeloa. Very few Madrid players can say that. Even though Turkey played poorly as a team at the World Cup, I wouldn't really blame it on Güler. It was more of a tactical issue. This was super obvious in the USA game where he just embarrassed the Yankees.
Much of the second half, but here they are, and it's an opening goal at this World Cup. That's what Turkey can do.
I mean, that Meg before Turkey's goal on Pulisic was orgasmic. The important thing to note is that Madrid stars did not suddenly remember how to play football because they put on a national team shirt. They just had more defined roles that played to their strengths, and that's the challenge for Mourinho. How the hell do you get all of them to click together at the same time? Because nobody's figured it out in the past 2 seasons.
If there's one club that can handle this kind of spending, handle this kind of star power within the same dressing room, it's Real Madrid. As a matter of fact, I think that was kind of the primary driver behind bringing José Mourinho back. Mourinho knows that dressing room. He's been there, done it. He's been asked to come back and do it all over again.
Remember, this team with just Bellingham and Vini along with Rodrigo was clicking before. In the 2023-2024 season, Madrid won La Liga and the Champions League. Plus, they spanked Barca in the Super Cup. But then they added Mbappe, and despite him winning the Golden Boot, these guys won nothing. Besides the UEFA Super Cup, I guess, but come on. Like, imagine how I felt trying to explain to my casual friends who had just tuned into football for the first time during the World Cup that Mbappe, Vini, and Bellingham are all on the same club team, yet they can't win titles together. Madrid won nothing in the 2025-2026 season. Once again, despite Mbappe scoring 42 goals in all competitions, with 15 of them coming in the Champions League. Before Mbappe arrived, the goals were much more spread out. Vini scored 24, Bellingham scored 23, Rodrigo was contributing. This leads to a weird dilemma where it feels like it's Mbappe's fault, especially since the team he left only got better without him. But can you really blame the guy for being too good at his job of scoring goals? For some Madrid fans though, despite his numbers, Mbappe's arrival was one of the problems. Mbappe and Vini occupy the exact same areas, and they both don't like to track back defensively.
What you do know is you can't have 2 of your star players continually bickering and fighting for the same piece of real estate.
Like, there was a stat that showed out of 6,044 players across Opta's top 20 leagues, 6,043 of them averaged more defensive contributions per 90 than Mbappe. Even at the World Cup where he did so well, Mbappe was the player with the least defensive actions. He was behind every goalkeeper and the Unk version of Messi and Ronaldo. Brother pressed once, and that was to beat up Unai Simon. You can get away with one superstar forward not doing the defensive work, but with 2 guys not doing it, that creates a completely different problem. Now everyone else has to compensate. Your midfielders have to track back to cover more ground, your fullbacks have to be more careful, your other winger has to track back, and if the press gets broken, suddenly the midfield is exposed. We saw teams take advantage of this. Atletico put 5 past them. Bayern knocked them out of the Champions League.
If I were Mourinho, I got it clear. I would sit down in the locker room with the both of them, and I would tell them, I need you both to defend. And if you don't defend at the same time, please try to turn into yourselves. And the first one, okay, you Mbappe. The next one, Vinicius, but they need some balance.
Now this is why there was a whole civil war in the Madrid fan base between the Vini fans and the Kylian Mbappe fans. The Mbappe fans were basically saying, hey, he won the Pichichi, he won the Golden Boot, he was the top goal scorer in the Champions League. How is it his fault Vini forgot how to play football? Then Vini's side was saying that before Mbappe arrived, Madrid were winning the Champions League with Vini as their main attacking threat. He scored in 2 Champions League finals. Then the dictator arrives, and suddenly Vini is expected to sacrifice the role that made him one of the best players in the world. Then you have the fact that there still isn't a tempo dictating playmaker in the middle of the park. Madrid are hoping that Bernardo Silva helps with that, and I'll discuss that later in the video, but technically they still don't have a profile of a player similar to Kroos and Modric. They tried with Güler because he has the ability, he can receive between the lines and control the tempo, but he can get bullied physically and he's not great defensively. Normally it would be okay, a slight defensive risk, but because Madrid also have Mbappe and Vini jerking each other off on that left-hand side, they would get exposed defensively. And this is where Mourinho comes in. One of the first things he reportedly identified when he came back was that Madrid had developed some really bad habits, which isn't surprising given Xabi Alonso said the exact same thing a year earlier. The hope is that the new signings can help Mourinho fix the issues he sees. Bernardo Silva might be one of the most important signings Madrid have made in years. Since the Rodri deal didn't pan out, at least Bernardo can give the team some control. He's not gonna treat the ball like a bomb like Valverde. He can receive the ball under pressure and rarely loses it. Then there's Diomande. Now this guy is still a raw young player. He's gonna need more time to develop, but at least they have a fast player on the right hand side who's excellent in 1v1 situations and tracks back. Across the top 5 leagues, only Lamine Yamal finished with more successful dribbles than Diomande. In his first Bundesliga season, he scored 12 goals and got another 8 assists in just 33 league matches. He also created 11 big chances and had really good expected assist number. But as I told you guys, he also works hard defensively. During the 2025-2026 Bundesliga season, he contested more duels than any other player in the league. The hope is that he stretches the pitch for Madrid, causing Mbappe, Bellingham, and Vini to get more space since defenders can't leave the right side isolated now. I think we are gonna see Mourinho get the very best out of Arda. Ever since Arda Güler was a young kid, he was compared to Mesut Ozil because they're both Turkish and because of their playmaking and magical left foot. Now guess when Ozil had one of his best ever seasons? It was the 2011-2012 season at Real Madrid when he was being managed by Mourinho. Arda looked great last season and his profile is one that Madrid don't have. His partnership with Mbappe was fantastic, and now with Diomande, Madrid have even more runners, and that's the dream for a playmaker like Arda Güler. Obviously though, football isn't that simple and Mourinho still has a massive job ahead of him. But if he can get all of these ridiculous individuals working together, we might finally see Real Madrid actually be scary again. Now, I didn't dive too deep into Diomande in this video because I made a video focused purely on him right here. Go check it out.